Alright, so we are back at the beginning of free agency. We'll go through the news that happened during the simulation. So we got everyone to sign onto the contracts that we offered. Blake Swihart, I withdrew the offer to him and offered him a 1-year, $8.4 million a year contract, and he accepted that. So that all worked out, thankfully. And then everyone else obviously resigned. So looking at the awards, I believe we did win a Gold Glove here. Mookie Betts in right field. Nothing in the reliever of the year category. Trade proposal, don't really care about that. Silver Slugger, Blake Swihart takes it home for us at catcher. And nothing else there. National League, if you guys care. AL newcomer, Mike Poppy finished third, but it was Dan Vogelback who won Rookie of the Year. Aaron Brown in the NL. Jay Gibbons is the Manager of the Year. And Garrett Cole actually took on the Cy Young with Eduardo Rodriguez finishing in third. A little bit caught off guard by that. His numbers were good, but not great, I thought. Certainly not like best pitcher or third best pitcher in the AL great, but I guess it helps playing on a winning team. And second place was Cody Allen, who was a reliever, so that kind of caught me off guard. And he actually won the, yeah, okay. I thought for a sec he might not have even won the reliever of the year award, but no, I would have been mistaken there. I'm getting lost. Here we go. So that was Cy Young, and then on to MVP. It was Carlos Correa in the AL, and Arismendi Alcantara in the NL has turned into an absolute stud. Kind of a bit surprising there. He's not really regarded as one of the best Cubs prospects, although they do have a lot of good prospects. But alright, so free agency filings happened today. Craig Kimbrell did decline the qualifying offer, so he's headed to free agency. And let's take a look. And I do believe that Kershaw made it to free agency, so that is great. I saw his name pop up here, I'm assuming. Yep, there it is. McCutcheon as well, but he is a bit older. Kershaw is 30, and, you know, pitchers tend to age better than hitters in this game. That's always been the case in OOTP games. There's also Jake Arrieta, but he tends to age a little bit worse than Kershaw does, I notice. We can see his ratings are already going down. He had Tommy John, but he has been putting up good seasons. You can't deny that. Still, I wouldn't really want to give him a big money contract coming off of Tommy John. He might be a guy who gets signed to a 1-year deal, which wouldn't be a bad get for anyone, but especially us. Alright, and then taking a look at the rest of the list, we would also be in the market for a hitter, just because I'm looking at our list of position players here, and I'm thinking Benintendi could be trade bait, or he could be our DH next year. His defensive ratings are not very good, but he wouldn't be a bad DH. I think he could at least hit for decent numbers. And then at first base, I was thinking of platooning Poppy and Travis next year, but possibly upgrading that in the long term. I don't really love that platoon. It's not bad, but certainly could get an upgrade there. And then the rest of the rest of our positions are set, I would say. Foscolina likely to replace Pedroia in the near future, but we don't really have to worry, especially after moving Price. We don't have to worry about Pedroia's contract really hurting us too much, so I'm not worried about that. And Foscolina is going to be a fine replacement, I think. Hopefully, we will see. But past that, we're pretty set. I like Bradley in center field, even though his offense is not the best. Still, his defensive value is excellent. And alright, so let's look at free agency one more time, and let's put in an offer for Clayton Kershaw. So you can see we have $89 million for free agents. So I'm going to try and get him not a 9-year deal, but something closer to like a 5-year deal, maybe a 6-year with 2 team options. But what I would do is probably go to like $42 million to try and increase his interest. Alright, so we'll submit that, see where that gets us. I think that is a good chance of getting him. $42 million is obviously a hefty price to pay. I've honestly never signed anyone for that much money in any OOTP game. Alright, so he's not ready to sign on yet, obviously, but good chance. Alright, it looks like it's between us and the Yankees right now, so that's good. And then, otherwhere, I think I don't know. JD Martinez maybe wouldn't be bad. We also, you know, we need even more pitching. So we have Rodriguez. Let's even assume that we get Kershaw. We still are in the market for 2 more starters. We could try starting Montes, but long term I see him more as a reliever. He started a bit in the minor leagues, had some success, but also walked a lot of guys. And that would be his concern as a starter. But more likely to hone that in as a reliever. So I think that is his best bet long term. Which means that we would definitely still be in the market for another starter. We could potentially sign Iwakuma back for big money on a short years, maybe like a 2-year contract with a team option, if we could. Let's go to the off-season center because I like seeing where their demands are. Iwakuma does have some interest at more of a longer deal. Gonzalez is coming off of a pretty bad year and hasn't been healthy. Evaldi, no thanks. This is some international guy, but decent potential. 12 million though. Too much for my liking. Anyone else here in terms of starters that I would want? Probably not. Trevor Rosenthal would be a pretty nice get to our bullpen, but our bullpen is already pretty sound, so not looking to make a move there. So if we try to make another move for a starter, it's likely going to be via a trade. And I'm hoping that Arrieta maybe on a 1-year deal would sign on as he gets closer towards coming back from Tommy John. Because that would fill out a 5-man group, and that would be a pretty strong 5-man group. And there it is, Clayton Kershaw signs on. So we do lose our first-round pick, but well worth it to acquire Clayton Kershaw. And only 4 years of guaranteed money. Plus, it looks like he's a really good leader in the clubhouse. So, all in all, a very good get, I would say. Likely to be one of the best starters in the game once again coming up in this season. So that is really big. And now we still have like almost 50 million to play with, I think. Alright, so Arrieta is getting interest on a 2-year deal from someone else. And we still have about 47 million here. So if I want to get him on a short-term deal, I would do 22 million. And he wants a vesting option. I would rather do a team option, but vesting, I mean, maybe we can convince what would be a unreasonable vesting option. Like 200 innings maybe. I could probably, if I didn't want him back, I could certainly make it so that he doesn't get that. Alright, so that is an acceptable offer. 2 years, 44 million for Jake Arrieta. We are adding some serious superstar power to this pitching staff if we get Arrieta. And he was very impressed by our offer. That is a good sign. And there it is. Jake Arrieta signs on. So we obviously do lose a draft pick, but hopefully we'll be getting that one back. Marco Hernandez got traded for Henry Owens. That's pretty hilarious. I guess Hernandez actually is pretty decent now. Oh yeah, he would not be a bad bench bat with these ratings. I forget what deal we got rid of him in. It must have been. Oh yeah, it must have been the Tyson Ross trade. It was. All right, so we do lose another draft pick, but once you lose the first round draft pick, it's not a huge harm in losing the second rounder, because it's not like you lose 2 first-round draft picks. And so we still have money to play with, and we still have a need for another bat potentially. I want to see what Foscolina's trade market is, just out of curiosity. I don't think it's going to be very good, unfortunately. But if we could get a good player in return for him, I'd consider trading him for another good infielder. But yeah, I have my doubts actually about Foscolina turning into a good player long term. Just seeing him in the other saves in this game and seeing his OSA ratings, I'm a little bit concerned. Plus, he fell to the 7th round for a reason. Alright, for now, though, we are keeping him. We could try to throw him in a deal for another starter, potentially. But as it stands right now, let's get these guys. Arrieta, is he going to be ready for opening day is the question. He is 4 to 5 months out, so possibly not till May, April or May. So we'll put him on the active roster for now, but we're going to need a contingency plan for him not being ready on opening day. And I'd say that contingency plan is going to be Montes. I want to slot him in as the 5th, probably the 6th starter when everyone is healthy. Is what I want Montes as, which means we are in the market for at least one more pitcher. But this is looking like a pretty loaded rotation right now. So Montes, he will be there on opening day for Arrieta. But we need a 5th starter still. And I think our bullpen is pretty much set. We're going to have Montes in there to spell any of these guys who get off the slow starts. Plus, in Pawtucket, do we have anyone? We do not. But we have Tucker, who probably looking at a backup outfield job with Rosario next year. If we assume that this is going to be a platoon. And that Benintendi is going to DH. Yep, and then we'll have Tucker and Rosario as the backup outfielders. And we still need a backup catcher. That's one thing I had not thought about. Let's take a look at who we could get. Catcher here. So obviously no one too good really left, but Austin Barnes or Devin Mesoraco. I don't want to spend too much money on a backup catcher. Probably AJ Jimenez. Yeah, for his defense at least. If it really became a hole, we could trade for somebody. It's not like backup catchers are a huge commodity. But alright, so yeah, still in the market for another starter. That is where a Foscalina trade could come in. We'll take a look at some rebuilding teams, see if they have any starters that we would be interested in. It doesn't have to be a you know, big guy either. I mean, the front of our rotation is set, I would say, for now. But I'm still going to be in the market for at least one more guy. So looking at potential 5th starters, I think that Lance Lynn could be a fit. Eovaldi and Gonzalez have draft pick compensation, so for a 5th starter, I'm not really interested. Iwakuma we could bring back, but if we offer him the contract that he's looking for, it's going to tie up most of our remaining money. And I still want to be able to add to this team at the deadline. I don't want to tie up that much and limit our flexibility. So Lance Lynn, I think, is going to be the best bet. No compensation. Obviously not that great of a year in Toronto, but, you know, eats up innings and has a decent track record. So obviously not looking for that long of a deal. Probably a 2-year contract with a vesting option, and we'll say that's tough. I don't want to say games started. I want to say innings pitched. We'll see if he accepts 200 innings pitched. If he gives us 200 innings, I think he would have earned it. Alright, we can bump that up to 7 if he wants. Actually, we could even do, let's just see if he'll take a team option. What if we go all the way up to 8.5? 2-year team option. Alright, well, he was not interested in that. So Iwakuma could be our only option then, because he is looking for a 2-year contract with a vesting option, much like Arrieta. And where is he? He's further down. Or am I just blind? He's right here. Still also could go with the young Japanese guy, but not sure about that. And yeah, the Dodgers are in on Iwakuma. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Whoops. I don't know where else we could free up money is the thing. Looking at this roster, Castillo obviously, but we don't really have. I don't think it's really realistic to trade him. So yeah, I don't really know what to do. Oh, I didn't realize Kershaw has an opt-out after the 2nd year. I didn't mean to give him that. Or is it after the 3rd year? Either way, it's not a big deal. Betts has an opt-out too. Oh shoot. Okay. I don't remember giving either of those guys opt-outs. Castillo has an opt-out. Please take it. I'm just curious. Like, would anyone give us anything for this? Oh my gosh. Brett Cecil. makes 9.5. That's still a discount, and we get a good lefty reliever out of it, though. Could I just trade Castillo to Texas for nothing? Like, if you want Castillo, you can have him. Oh, you can't afford him, though. Ooh, that's tough. We would need to take back at least $5 million of salary. Martin Perez, I would take him. Would solve our 5th starter issue. Yeah, there's no one who would make that work. What about if we offered up? So the thing is, I don't really have too many guys on my major league roster now that I'm interested in trading. Alright, they have no one who's going to make that work. Let's go back to the Cecil offer then. So I think I would still do that deal. 2 years though. It's the only thing. But I mean, still, it's a discount on Castillo's contract, so we're just going to complete that trade. Makes too much sense not to do. So it gives us a little bit more money. A little bit more money. Cecil, I bet, would actually be tradable. We'll see. Can we trade his contract? These guys are all locked up, I would assume. Alright, so we're stuck with that, though. Richard signed, but he's not been good lately. So back to the off-season center. Iwakuma. Now, if we signed him for 18, we would be left with about 8 million. So that's a pretty good amount. I mean, for a team, for our team, man, I don't know. That's so tough though, because I want to be able to spend. We're not gonna be able to spend in the draft. I don't remember how our international free agency period went last time around. I would assume we spent a lot, but I don't remember, to be honest. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if holding on to all this money really does us any good. But I think for now, we're better off just letting Iwakuma sign elsewhere. And yes, there he goes to the Dodgers. And alright, so I'm going to cut out now and probably come back closer towards the beginning of preseason or beginning of spring training. Okay, so I forgot about the Rule 5 draft, of course. So right now I got to add anyone I need to the 40-man. And don't need anyone on Pawtucket. We'll check Portland. This guy, sure. I think we have room for him. Oh, we might not actually. Yeah, we do. Alright, and that is all set, I think. Yep. Alright, Rule 5 draft. Let's see if we can get probably not going to be in the market for any relievers. I feel like we're going to be all set with relievers for now. But until next pick. If we could get another swingman, like another Montes type, I think I'd be interested. Just because we still need that 5th starter. This guy, no, he doesn't have the stamina. That's unfortunate. Tyler Beede, he's from Massachusetts, isn't he? Yep, Auburn, Mass. Decent year in AAA last year. Could take him. He would be. He's good in the locker room too. Okay, I like Beede. I don't know if it's Beede or Beede. The rest of these guys. Ooh, this guy walks a lot. Ugh. Put that line up in AA though. I'd rather trade for a guy like this, but I'm sure he's valued by the Mets. Kyle Holder. Not terrible, but yeah. All right, we're gonna go with Tyler Beede. I'm gonna call him Beede. Tyler Beede for now. And if anyone says that is the wrong pronunciation, then let me know, and I will stop calling him that. Alright, so we can't get the guy from the Mets. Looks like he got taken. Alright, so I'm not really interested in anyone else. Complete the draft. That guy, AJ Jimenez, did sign, by the way. I could have looked at taking, like, Oscar Hernandez to be the backup catcher, but we got Jimenez. We'll see how that is. Alright, so I'm at the start of the preseason here, and I see that Justin Wilson is still available. This is a guy I would have considered signing as a 5th starter. He's got pretty decent numbers. His strikeout to walk ratio is not great, but he does keep the home run, or he keeps the ball in the park, I should say. And the peripherals, like I said, aren't great. The WAR is not very high. I would imagine his FIP was quite a bit higher, yeah, than his ERA the last couple of seasons. But still, he keeps the ERA down. And what is the BABIP? Can I see that? Or is that not going to tell me? Oh no, there it is. It's only that's kind of surprising. I don't know how to explain high left on base percentage. I guess I have no idea. That's kind of surprising, to be honest. But some very good relievers still available too. But we just don't really have room for a reliever. Lance Lynn's contract demands right down. I can see, but I'm happy to pick up Tyler Beede in the Beede in the Rule 5 draft because he's probably got a higher upside than all these guys, to be honest. So, although Wilson did have that one good year. He had 1 year where he had like that 3.21 ERA, and even last year 3.8 playing for Detroit. That's in the American League. I mean, that's not bad at all. All right, bad news out of spring training. Eduardo Rodriguez tears a rotator cuff. That is a very bad injury. He's out for 4 months. That is not good. So he's going on the 60-day DL, and we are immediately in the market for another starter. Arrieta, 8 weeks away, so that puts him 2 months out, probably beginning of May, and that is without a rehab assignment. So right now it's Beede and no one really else, so we're going to have to sign somebody or make a trade, but I would rather sign somebody just because it is going to be a it's not going to be a season ender for Rodriguez, and Arrieta is going to be back. So the guy I'm thinking about signing is Francisco Liriano, bringing him back, seeing what he can do for a month. The contract obviously is not going to be expensive, so we're going to try and do that then. And I said before, I think he wouldn't be a horrible bounce back candidate as it is. So I'm just going to assume he's going to sign. Yeah, all right. He was not getting any other offers, I would imagine. But all right, promote and place on the 40-man. And all right, T is going to be ready to go. He'll be our 5th starter. I'm going to put Montes and Beede ahead of him in the rotation. All right, so we are at opening day, and John Henry actually passed away. So John Henry Jr. is now the owner of the team. I thought that was pretty surprising, to say the least. But anyway, top 100 prospects. We don't have anyone in the top 10. We will take a look at the full list here, though. We'll do that first. And let's see. We've got Bo Bichette, David Hamilton, and Yismail Kageyue, whatever. Obviously a very good offensive prospect here that we signed in the international amateur pool, or out of the international amateur pool, and no pitchers. So our farm system a little bit shallow right now, but we will see if we can turn that around in the future. We've got a very stacked Major League roster at this moment, so I'm not too worried. For now, we've got Rosario as the backup outfielder, but long term we're going to bring up Kyle Tucker, I think, at some point. Obviously wait a little while for the service time. I haven't even really looked at my lineup yet, so we should probably switch some of the stuff around. We'll move Pedroia down to 8th, and I guess that's fine. Might move Benintendi up if he performs well, though. That's the only thing I'm thinking. But long-term, Moncada, the reason I didn't want to trade for a starter that involved Foscalina in the trade was just because I think long-term, not only Pedroia is going to be off the team, but Moncada too, maybe, just because I don't really like his offensive ratings. I think that he might regress a little bit, and plus his personality is not great. And that is the same thing with Kyle Tucker, actually, which is a bit concerning. But you can see we've got some guys here that we've got some good depth in the minor leagues to start out the year with Tucker and Richard Rodriguez and Travis Shaw and Austin Beck, who's down in Double-A. So lots of guys we could call up potentially. Pitching-wise, Rodriguez did not make the cut with the addition of Cecil to the team. And then you can see the rotation is going to be pretty shaky to start the year. Tyler Beede actually had a good spring. ERA was 1.11. But Montes and Liriano both struggled. And I didn't even bother checking Cole and Kershaw. I'm relying on them to be sound starters for us. But anyway, we'll take a look at the player rankings here in just a second. Then I think I'm going to, or actually we'll do preseason predictions, and then I will call it an episode. So we demote all those guys. But here we go, preseason predictions. So we're slotted to win 104 games, 890 runs. That would be pretty absurd. Top 10 hitters, Betts, who is healthy. He did get hurt in the spring, but he's healthy now. Piscotty, if he plays a full season, that would be nice. And pitchers, Miller, and then our 2 starters, Cole and Kershaw. Yeah, if they put up those kind of seasons, we're gonna be all right, I would think. And the rest of the league, they're very top heavy in the NL with the Mets, Cubs, and Dodgers. And the Dodgers expected to do pretty well even without Kershaw, so good for them. They've got De Leon, who actually won the Cy Young last year. He's pretty ridiculous. He had a 2.23 ERA, 12.2 strikeouts per 9. That is absurd. Oh my goodness. And they got Price as the number 5 there. His ratings have gone up a little bit though, so he'll be alright in the NL. But alright, that is going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.